welcome to the iLrocket information session. We're fired up to be with Gina and Aaron, and they're going to share with us all of the incredible things about iLrocket and the roles that they're looking for. If you haven't yet, go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat. Tell us where you're tuning in from, and tell us about your excitement to chat to iLrocket. Otherwise, I'll hand it over to Gina and Aaron and let you guys take it from here.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Gina Cazzoni. I am new with iLrocket as of October 5th. I'm taking over the HR director role here. We're a marketing and advertising agency that is recently come together with two other agencies. So we've formed one this past summer. And so I'm happy to be with you all. I have 10+ years of diverse HR experience across multiple industries. So I'm hoping to bring some of what I've learned and continue to build upon what Aaron and the rest of the team at iLrocket has done so far for us. So I'll just turn this over to Aaron, who's also in HR as well.
Thanks, Gina. My name is Aaron Fedor. I am in the operations department at iLrocket, and so happy to have Gina here now, being in the HR role with us. I've been with iLrocket now for 6 years, and just so you know who iLrocket is, we are a full-service advertising agency. We've been serving both retail and digital marketing clients for over 30 years, and we have offices in downtown Chicago, St. Joseph, Michigan, and in Boston. And we have over 125 employees, and we're continuing to grow. We are focused on creating digital experiences and e-commerce. This past summer, as Gina mentioned, we did merge with two other companies. One was Target Data, who's located in Chicago, and the other is Social Fulcrum, a company in Boston. And what I'm going to do is share my screen and just show you a slide from our website that kind of shows our offerings now as these three companies have come together. We now offer true end-to-end solutions for all of our clients. All right. So if you look at the creative and brand experience portion of this chart, that represents iLrocket as we were before merging. Social Fulcrum brought in the paid media portion that you see here in the purple color, and then Target Data brought in the data and technology portion, which, like I said, gives us true end-to-end solutions for all of our clients. So when you look at all of the services that iLrocket has, we have a very robust account services and client management team. Now with the addition of Target Data, we have a really great data and analytics team. We are focused on first-party data, and we have a consumer data platform that we use to leverage and understand how we can use this data to better serve our clients' needs. We have a really great strategy team that works very closely with the data and analytics team to help define opportunities and find success for our clients. And we also have a full service creative department. So that means we have in-house creative services for design, copy. We work on projects for digital and print, and we also produce video content. So we also have in-house video editors and content producers. We also, with all of the digital experiences that we create, we have an on-staff development team and a QA team. And a lot of the projects that we are managing these days are done in an agile framework. We still do traditional waterfall projects, but we are leaning more towards the agile project management method, and we're finding a lot of success with it. And then the last component, which you do see in that purple circle, is the paid media team that we captured when we merged with Social Fulcrum. We have media execution capabilities, and one of our specializations is in Facebook. And we service a lot of clients with the way they were able to utilize and give them great results within the Facebook platform. So one of the great things about iLrocket is we are a smaller agency. We have that smaller agency feel, but we have really big agency clients. And I'll go to our About Us page on our website and just show you the list of the clients that we're working with. Probably our largest client is Whirlpool Corporation. They're an appliance manufacturer. they have many brands under their umbrella, from Maytag to KitchenAid to Amana to JennAir. And a lot of the work that we're doing is digital experiences for Whirlpool. We also have a variety of other clients in many different spaces. Shed Aquarium in Chicago, Pods. We're working with a company called Barbecue Guys. We just landed a new client called Neato Robotics. This is very similar to what you've seen with products like Roomba, but Neato is a new player in that space, and we're really happy to have them on board. So the great thing about the merger that we did this summer with all of these companies is we were able to not only expand our capabilities, but then build our client base. And we're continuing to win more clients because we're able to offer so much more with our company. So with that, I will now turn it back over to Gina to talk about the opportunities that we have within IL Rocket.
Yeah, and maybe Aaron, you could keep that page open and click on careers there on our company page. So here's our career site with our opportunities listed. Like just to highlight, if you want to scroll down, is there the performance marketing analyst position? It's our new opening, looking for kind of more that junior level experience, a couple years out, or just internship. Kind of one of those quasi roles where you're looking for great communication, verbal as well as written, and then also have that really strong technical analytical skill background with somebody with a bachelor's degree in math, econ, or statistics, since you're really kind of doing a lot of that data analytics space, but also being able to communicate both with clients as well as internal folks across our teams. And so again, that position will be based in Chicago. That's our primary. So we're going to start it remote. So we wouldn't be offering relocation assistance if you're elsewhere, to be determined on when we'll resume to the office. We may consider potentially Boston, but for now, we are focused on that position being in Chicago. We also are in the midst of interviewing or final stages in the other roles listed. We will have some other opportunities coming here in the upcoming weeks, either freelance or full-time. So we tend to kind of marry the two and do across the different areas Aaron mentioned. So please keep in mind those opportunities. You can always come back to the ilrocket.com and in particular this careers page. And then if you wouldn't mind scrolling down, we have some of the benefits, perks. And then if you see here opportunities at ilrocket.com, if there's nothing right now that you feel you're a good fit for, feel free to send us your information, connect with us on LinkedIn. We're happy if we don't respond right away. It's because we're inundated by many emails from whether it's applicant interest or just for business related purposes. So please don't feel like we're ignoring anyone here. And again, we're really happy to have all of you, sit on today's session. Did want to mention a few things, with my role, obviously we're doing a lot of streamlining of processes and systems, given that we've all, as Aaron mentioned, we've come together this past summer and working through some things. And with me just recently starting, we're also focused on really creating a, culture with bringing all the legacy companies together, one universal message, and working through that as we go in through the new year under these unique circumstances. Also too focused on the diversity inclusion aspect. We created a diversity inclusion council as well as a culture committee within, and then having some subcommittees within that. So again, there's a lot going on, benefit for formalizing that, great perks, a comprehensive, attractive benefit package. And as I mentioned, for now, most of our roles will be remote for the time being with a TBD, but our hope with at least the performance marketing analyst role is to resume in Chicago in our downtown location off of Jackson. So, feel free to ask any of us questions. Both Aaron and I are happy to do our best to answer what we can.
Awesome, Gina. I'll get things kicked off with a question here while the questions roll in the chat. I wanted to ask, how did each of you land your jobs at Owl Rocket? What was the path to Owl Rocket, and how did you get connected?
Okay, that's a really great question. So, unfortunately, with the COVID pandemic, since I was one of the newer hires at my former employer in a different space, larger organization, very international on the government administration side. I was in a human capital manager role, and been unfortunately laid off. Shortly thereafter in April, as many have and continue, unfortunately, to be part of that group. And I had taken on a consulting position for for 2.5 months, which was really great because I felt like it really helped position me well to get a role with IORocket, in particular this one, given some of the similarities, some of the work that they'd be doing in the performance management, a lot of entrepreneurial process improvement, streamlining, just overall strategy and so forth. So I think, having a really good experience with Katie, who at the time, at that she was handling some of the recruiting, had made a lasting impression, and it only continued to get better. And then having Erin help in so many ways and get me acclimated to everything, and Katie as well, it's helped, make my onboarding experience a very positive one. But I will tell for all of you on the call, for somebody being in your side, and if you are looking for a new role, or because you're unemployed, or whether you're looking for just a new opportunity because you're not happy with the current one, it is a struggle and a battle out there. You're competing with hundreds of people. We, even for what we're seeing right now, putting 200 plus on average is what they say for an average job opening or job requisition is. So if you can imagine, our role is tough. We're wearing multiple hats and having to do a lot with limited resources. So things are not necessarily moving as quickly. And especially if you're a one-woman show, potentially, here it's a little bit more challenging, but having a good support within in the teams and stuff, we can get things moving. But just to know that not all of us on this side too are not trying to ignore anyone, that we're really making hiring a top priority among keeping our current employees happy and engaged, and to keeping their health and wellness and all that in mind. So it's a balancing act, given that we're in this remote situation. It's definitely shifted things, and now being on this side, I can kind of have some appreciation of when this happened, how I was kind of in the midst of it, but I really didn't know the gravity until now, on what it feels like to be having to hire, but have like 15 other things to do on your plate as well. So, but yes, I had a great experience, and I went through a lot of interviews with, and just for everything from Snapchat, Facebook, you name it. So I've been through it all. Not that I'm an expert, in no means, by interviewing. You get better at it, but I probably, I could say I had 60 plus interviews, if you can imagine.
Wow.
Probably never in the day did I ever think that would happen. So I used to get jobs within a month. When I was first doing this, and you have to really actually put some work and effort to it. So for all of you on the call, I really want to stress that a lot. It's your LinkedIn profile, really focus on that. Really build your employee brand, or your candidate brand, or personal brand. They use that synonymously. So it's really about networking too, and be persistent. Don't give up. I mean, I think that's what I can share, and really practice interviewing. Don't just take it for granted, and make sure your resume is good, or great for that matter. I got really engaged with some job support groups. I think it's really key to whatever level of and stage in your career you're in, that you're really focused on presenting yourself the best you can, and be authentic. I think for what I know from being on both sides and doing this for a very long time in HR, especially on the talent acquisition side, that being authentic, genuine, say what you can do and back it up. So make
Okay.
sure that no one wants to hire somebody that's kind of, as I call, a fraud or some type of, sheep in wolf's clothing or something. So for lack of a better word, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's really critical because we really, at this point in juncture, there's a huge talent pool you're competing with. So you want to put your best foot forward. I just suggest, working on those key areas. So.
That's awesome. We got a lot of questions coming here through the chat as you were talking. So I'll ask one of them. Winner asks, any support / client success roles in the future? Do you anticipate any of those?
I do. As we continue to grow, as Erin mentioned, that is a great question. I was able to meet with some of the leadership, and they were kind of hinting in my ear that, yeah, that's probably soon to come. This performance marketing analyst definitely has that component. Again, probably it marries with the analytical piece, but as that position grows, there's a little bit more probably client element to it, but a straight like account management where you're actually servicing the clients, I believe that's kind of on the horizon. I don't know how soon, and again, given with the holidays and everything, it would maybe be something that we could start in Q4, but most likely it's a Q1. And as we have a better idea of clients that we obtain, and retain or acquire, I should say, and then what we currently have based on the staff and where they all fit. Since again, as Erin mentioned, after you're still trying to assess the staff and the bandwidth and the cross functions and what have you. So as we kind of discern and look into that, we'll be able to kind of really see what our forecasting is as far as staffing goes. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great answer. So let's see. Timothy asks here, do you plan on expanding your HR team? I don't know who would be best to answer that, but
I would love to bring an intern. Erin and I have already had that, because Erin's going to be transitioning to another role, even though I kind of secretly want him to stay with me and tag team as a key HR project manager or project manager that is diverse across the different business units, I should say, since he is very talented. So, and is very knowledgeable about different areas of the operation. So I think that really helps. But I would hope that we would grow. I think the intent is, as we continue as an organization to staff up in these other areas and we acquire new clients and then have to then beef up our teams, that we would be able to eventually add to HR. I would really hope that right now we kind of have, our benefits being handled by our kind of accounting finance group in Tennessee. And again, they're just like a 2-person with another one in Chicago, like a 3-person team, so to speak. So it would be nice. And then, our executive admin does a lot of the work, and then Erin's taken a lot of the, for a very, for a time period. So it'd be nice to have some additional assistance, but I can't give you a time frame on when that will be. So it kind of just depends on the other, contingent upon other areas.
It sounds like probably the best thing is to reach out, and you could probably just request mentorship from Gina here, Timothy, on Mentally, and you'll be able to message back and forth that way.
Yeah. And I would think, ideally, if we were to bring anyone on, it would be hopefully with the intent of Chicago, or at least in the Chicagoland area, just so there would be an opportunity for FaceTime. As we have an office, we may not even have everybody at the office at one time, but the hope is to rotate people given, the numbers and all, but just to have that in-person face presence again at some point. So
this is great. Thank you so much, Gina. Yeah, as the questions keep rolling in, I got a couple more here, but one I wanted to ask, I wanted to give Erin a chance. How did you get involved with Owl Rocket? What was your path to landing at the company?
Yeah, so I've been working for ad agencies my whole career. So been over 20 years now. And at the time, 6 years ago, I was looking to make a move. I was in a different part of Michigan, looking to move to this area where I'm at now. And I had some friends who worked for Whirlpool, our largest client, told me about IL Rocket. Isle Rocket actually reached out to me after my friends had shared my resume, and they talked to me, and I made the move, and it's been a great move so far. I've worked for very small agencies. I've worked for the largest of the large. I really like the feel of Isle Rocket. We wear a lot of different hats, and that's really appealing to me, because I don't like being stuck just doing one thing. And Isle Rocket has given me so many opportunities to do so many different things. I've done production work, I've done account work, I've done the operations work, dabbled in HR here with what Gina's doing, and now I'm going to be doing something even a little bit different with my next role. So it's been a really good opportunity for me. And I will say, after our merger this summer, it injected a whole new life into the company as well. So it just brought more excitement, more clients. Just with the boosting of capabilities, it just shows that what we're going to be able to do with it. The possibilities are endless. So just after being here 6 years, it's like I'm starting a new job. So I'm really excited for the future of this company and where we're going.
Wow,
That's awesome.
that's fantastic.
Thank you, Aaron. And I think to stress on that, it's really about the learning experiences you can get by joining Isle Rocket, but also as well as the variety of work you'll be exposed to and the different functions or opportunities that come available during that time. So that's a really positive thing. And I think I saw that. And I remember attending an event a couple weeks after with some of the senior leadership, and I left thinking, wow, I really made the right decision. You don't always get that gut feeling. And I had a good sense of that when I left, the interview process and going through it. But it was like a reassurance, given if somebody looks on LinkedIn, I haven't had made always the best decision track records with the economy and certain conditions I couldn't control. But when you have that feeling, it is the best in the entire place. And it's almost like a tearjerker in a way, for me at least. So I really think that is something else to keep in mind as you explore the market and your, all are continuing in your journey and interviewing and so forth. So
love it. So we got another question here. Sounds like a winner and a couple of other folks are excited about applying to Isle Rocket, and while they may not be a fit for some of the current roles, or maybe they are, maybe they aren't, if in anticipation of future roles, what's the best way to set themselves up for success? Should they just submit their resume to you, or should they send you an email?
I would suggest one, that feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm happy to accept. As far as getting back, like I said, timely. I'm trounced. Now these days, it would have been nice when I was on the job seeker end to get 30 emails a day. Now it's vice versa, and I'm like, whoa, okay. So it gets a little overwhelming. So if I cannot get back timely, or sometimes I just can't keep up at all, it's nothing personal. I would suggest then still submitting your resume to the opportunities at islerocket.com, which Aaron, we showed you guys all earlier on the career page there on the company website. So that would be best. We don't have any job alerts set up, unfortunately. I'd also suggest, as a good thing, and this is like a tip on LinkedIn, is to set up following companies. So you're aware when opportunities sometimes, or they're sharing information about the company, as far as opportunities could pop up. You could use that as a job search. I believe a job alert feature you could set up for the company. And then you can also, I would suggest, follow the company. So you can do that, and you'll be alerted when positions. I think that's really helpful. I did that with one company. And so I get, like, on a daily basis, I haven't turned anything off. I'm still at like 10:45 Central Time, from this one company, I get opportunities that are open. So, and you could switch and turn things off, on and off, but that will help, at least when we do post on LinkedIn, given that we don't have it through our applicant tracking system at this time, to do that, to keep up with what's going on with us. So.
That's awesome. While we're coming up on things, Winner just said that she just senses a great culture over at Isle Rocket. Aaron, you've been there the longest. Can you tell us a little bit about the culture, and maybe how that differentiates between working in the office versus working remote now that things are the way they are.
Yeah, it's funny. COVID, it's unfortunate what we've had to go through for the last year. But when we were in the office, there was a very close-knit feel to everything that we did. A lot of, fun, impromptu happy hour type things. We had a lot of people just interested in the culture itself, and we had committees. And these were all committees that people had set up on their own just to plan things around, of course, there's always parties, but, we had a health and wellness team. We had a philanthropy team. We had people who were vested in these things and wanted to do them for the company, which just made an amazing culture. We always had something going on. And that's the unfortunate part of COVID is we've kind of stopped all of that in-person stuff, but the spirit of it still lives. We still use Slack for all of our internal communications. Zoom is now a way of life. And I feel some of that still creeps into those things, which is great. It's nowhere near the level it was when we were in person, but it's still there, and that's good to see.
That's awesome. Well, this is fantastic. I know we've come up at the end of our time here, but we just want to put our virtual hands together for Isle Rocket and Gina and Aaron. You guys have done fantastic, and thank you so much for joining us. For those of you who have joined us, thank you so much for coming in and asking and being so engaged. What happens from here, so that you all know, is that Gina has a list of everyone who's attended the session. So she'll be able to see and reach out to you from there. Go ahead and search for the jobs that are posted, and you can go and apply there. Otherwise, it sounds like you just reach out to Gina either on Mentally here as a mentor, or on LinkedIn, and she can get you the help that you need. But either way, thank you both so much for joining, and looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you all.